It's week 34 of A Year of Wisdom. Let's get to reading. Day 237. Job 34. Then Elihu continued and said, "Hear my words, you wise men, and listen to me, you who understand. For the ear tests words as the palate tastes food. Let us choose for ourselves what is right. Let us understand among ourselves what is good. For Job has said, I am righteous, but God has taken away my right. Should I lie about my right? My wound is incurable, though I am without wrongdoing. What man is like Job, who drinks up derision like water, who goes in company with the workers of injustice, and walks with wicked people? For he has said, it is of no use to man when he becomes friends with God. Therefore listen to me, you men of understanding. Far be it from God to do evil, and from the Almighty to do wrong. For he repays a person for his work, and lets things happen in correspondence to a man's behavior. God certainly will not act wickedly, and the Almighty will not pervert justice. Who gave him authority over the earth? And who placed the whole world on him? If he were to determine to do so, if he were to gather his spirit and his breath to himself, humanity would perish together, and mankind would return to the dust. But if you have understanding, hear this. Listen to the sound of my words. Shall one who hates justice rule? And will you condemn the righteous, mighty one? Who says to a king, you worthless one, to the nobles, you wicked one, who shows no partiality to the prominent, nor regards the rich as above the poor, since they are all the work of his hands. In a moment they die, and at midnight people are shaken and pass away, and the powerful are taken away without a hand. For his eyes are upon the ways of a person, and he sees all his steps. There is no darkness or deep shadow where the workers of injustice can hide themselves. For he does not need to consider a person further, that he should go before God in judgment. He breaks in pieces the mighty without investigation, and sets others in their place. Therefore he knows their deeds, and he overthrows them in the night, and they are crushed. He strikes them like the wicked in a public place, because they turned aside from following him, and had no regard for any of his ways, so that they caused the cry of the poor to come to him, and that he would hear the cry of the afflicted. When he keeps quiet, who can condemn? And when he hides his face, who then can look at him? That is, regarding both nation and a person. So that godless people would not rule, nor be snares for the people. For has anyone said to God, I have endured punishment, I will not offend any more. Teach me what I do not see. If I have done wrong, I will not do it again. Shall God repay on your terms, because you have rejected his? For you must choose, not I. Therefore declare what you know. Men of understanding will say to me, and a wise man who hears me. Job speaks without knowledge, and his words are without wisdom. Oh, that Job were tested to the limit, because he answers like sinners. For he adds rebellion to his sin. He claps his hands among us and multiplies his words against God. Proverbs 25. These also are Proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, transcribed. It is the glory of God to conceal a matter, but the glory of kings is to search out a matter. As the heavens for height and the earth for depth, so the heart of kings is unsearchable. Take away the impurities from the silver, and there comes out a vessel for the smith. Take away the wicked before the king, and his throne will be established in righteousness. Do not boast in the presence of the king, and do not stand in the same place as great people. For it is better that it be said to you, come up here, than for you to be placed lower in the presence of the prince, whom your eyes have seen. Do not go out hastily to argue your case. Otherwise, what will you do in the end when your neighbor humiliates you? Argue your case with your neighbor and do not reveal the secret of another, or one who hears it will put you to shame, and the evil report about you will not pass away. Like apples of gold in settings of silver is a word spoken at the proper time. Like an earring of gold and a jewelry piece of fine gold is a wise person who offers rebukes to a listening ear. Like the cold of snow in the time of harvest is a faithful messenger to those who send him, for he refreshes the soul of his masters. Like clouds and wind without rain is a person who boasts of his gifts falsely. Through patience a ruler may be persuaded, and a gentle tongue breaks bone. Have you found honey? Eat only what you need, so that you do not have it in excess and vomit it. Let your foot rarely be in your neighbor's house, or he will become weary of you and hate you. Like a club, a sword, and a sharp arrow is a person who gives false testimony against his neighbor. Like a bad tooth and an unsteady foot is confidence in a treacherous person in time of trouble. Like one who takes off a garment on a cold day, or like vinegar on soda is one who sings songs to a troubled heart. If your enemy is hungry, give him food to eat, and if he is thirsty, give him water to drink. For you will heap burning coals on his head, and the Lord will reward you. The north wind brings rain, and a gossiping tongue brings an angry face. It is better to live on a corner of the roof than in a house shared with a contentious woman. Like cold water to a weary soul, so is good news from a distant land. Like a trampled spring and a polluted well, so is a righteous person who gives way before the wicked. It is not good to eat too much honey, nor is it glory to search out one's own glory. Like a city that is broken into and without walls, so is a person who has no self-control over his spirit. And as always, thank you so much for being here today. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button right there if you would. And click the bell if you want to get notifications for the next video. And if you wouldn't mind, hit that like button for me as well. And I will see you tomorrow. Maranatha.
I'm lost without a clue. I need a big pink neon sign to show me what to do. I thank you, Lord. It glorifies you when you're the only answer. I praise you, Lord, for holding what's too much for me. And I'm amazed by you, Lord, because nothing's too big and nothing's too small to lay at your feet.